I'm Kamal Fisher and you're watching the Sequire Spotlight. We are at the LD Micro Invitational live here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Westlake Village, California. With me I have Mr. Paul Cooney, and he is Director of Capital Markets for Joseph Gunnar and Company. Welcome.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Please tell us more about what Joseph Gunnar and Company does.
All right, well, we're a full-service boutique investment bank and broker firm. Okay. Specifically, what I'm interested in with this conference is that it's really all emerging growth companies. It's about 250 emerging growth companies, and we specifically help those companies either uplist from the bulletin board to the NASDAQ. We do it in two ways. One way, we raise them bridge capital to get to the uplisting, and secondly, we actually do the uplisting for them as well. Okay, and then we also do bridges to IPOs that list on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, and we also do the IPOs for those companies.
Excellent. It's quite an extensive list of tasks that you undertake. What do you find is something that's the most challenging during these times?
Well, right now, we have tough markets, okay,
Yep.
and investors are very hesitant to put their capital to work, okay.
Right.
So you really have to find something special for them to invest in, okay. And two things: you really have to believe in the story, okay, that you're getting involved with, okay,
Right.
and secondly, you've got to realize that even if you really like the company, you've got to realize that you can actually get people to invest in it and to buy it. So that's
Right.
specifically what we're looking for, and it's also very challenging.
Wonderful. And is that partly how you help emerging growth companies?
Mm-hmm.
How else do you kind of, help them in that process?
Okay, so specifically, if we look at companies that right now are listed on the bulletin board, okay, they have two big problems. Okay, number one, they're generally underfunded. Okay, they don't have enough money
Right.
to grow the company they would want, how they would like to grow it.
Yeah.
And secondly, the fact that they're on the bulletin board, they're underexposed. Okay, so they're not getting enough volume in their stock. Okay, and there's a lot of brokerage firms that aren't even allowed to sell those companies, okay, to their clients.
Right.
Okay? So if we uplist them, we kill two birds with one stone. Okay, we not only fund the companies, okay, but we get them the exposure because they're on a national exchange.
So there are obviously a list of competitors out there. How do you differentiate from those and stay ahead of the curve?
One of the things I'm most proud of as far as the way our company has been working, at least since I've gotten there and taken over capital markets, is that we have a process, to vet these companies, which I've gone into a little bit already, but we have our whole team take a look at the company, okay, and vet it. And our team ranges from people, in their mid-20s, okay, to, gray beards like myself, okay, who have extensive experience. And the advantage of having that kind of view into the company is that, especially with technology companies, a lot of times a 25-year-old or a 35-year-old is going to be able to understand it a lot better than I am. Okay,
Right.
But once we decide that we really love the guy and we love the company, and then, like I said before, we figure out we can sell it. Okay, and when you asked about what our advantage was over our competitors, is that we actually have never engaged a company to raise money for them and not done it. Okay, so we've closed 100% of the deals,
Wow.
That we've engaged, and I don't think there's many brokerage firms that can say that.
Well, that's definitely an excellent statistic for sure.
Thanks.
So you mentioned you want to love the company, you want to love the person. What do you look for in particular for a company that you're considering?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because we're industry agnostic, okay? So it's really about just sitting down, loving the story, okay? And then looking at the guy and just knowing that guy is so passionate about his business, okay? And then wanting to fund the company, okay? But also, another thing, a lot of these companies, some of the pitfalls that they run into, is that they're so desperate sometimes to raise capital early on that they raise the wrong kind of capital. All right, which so a lot of times they screw up their capital structure early on by doing some toxic debt or stuff like that. Okay, so we really try to guide them in the right direction. And another way we help them is we sometimes can clean up those situations as well.
Give me an example of getting money in the wrong way or the wrong kind of money.
All right, so sometimes a company will be already trading on the bulletin, okay,
Right.
and then they'll do some toxic convertible debt. okay, to raise capital, okay? And a lot of times, even the companies don't realize how toxic it is for them, okay? So in some cases, if the stock goes down, okay, these guys who have the toxic convertible ratchet down and ratchet down and ratchet down, and you can see a stock go from like $1 to a penny, all right, just because there's more and more and more shares being put out there, and because most of these entrepreneurs aren't capital market intensive, okay, they're like into their business, but they don't really know the capital markets business like somebody like myself does. They find themselves just raising money the wrong way, okay, and sometimes it's hard to dig out.
Wonderful, very insightful, and I do bet that your guidance and expertise is why you've gotten the company to 100% of closure of these deals. So excellent chatting with you. Are there any final remarks you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Well, if you want to check out our website, it's www.josephgunnar.com. Okay, if you go on that website, you'll see. Just hit transactions and you can see, every deal we've ever done.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us, Paul.
No problem.
And all the very, very best.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.